I'm almost ready to install Veeam version 12. However, I don't have my backup drive ready. So the drive has been attached, but it hasn't been formatted. So I'm going to go into Tools, Computer Management, and we could also go into File and Storage Services, but I like the graphical view that Computer Management gives us. I'll go into Storage and Disk Management, and the 500 gigabyte drive pops up. If it doesn't, you can just right-click on the drive and choose to initialize it. Once it shows online, now we can right-click and choose to create the volume. And I'm just going to assign it the default drive letter and use all the defaults. And now it will pop up as my E drive with 500 gigabytes ready to go. Now I'm going to go to my download section after just confirming my drive has shown up. And there it is. And I'll go to downloads where I downloaded my Veeam installation file. And you can see that it's a zip file. Above that is my license to get installed so I can start using the product. So I'm going to right click and choose to extract that version 12 installation. And it should extract in the same folder, but you can put it anywhere you want. It's a very large file, so be sure that you have enough space. It starts out compressed at 10 gigabytes. Because the file is already compressed about as far as it can go because they're ISO files, even when it's extracted, you're not going to see any larger size. It's at 10.6 gigabytes instead of 10.2. So now I can delete my zip file because I don't want to have an extra 10 gigabytes on my hard drive. And you want to make sure you empty that recycling bin as well. And now I can go ahead and start the installation. Now I have two different ISO files. One is going to be my backup and replication application, which is what I'm going to install on this computer. And then there's Veeam 1. Veeam 1 is that monitoring program that you can put on any client computer or server, whatever it is you want, to monitor how the backups are going. I'm going to right click and choose to mount backup and replication. And now I'll double click on setup and the setup wizard will begin. I'll click on install to get things going. And I'm going to install the Veeam backup and replication option. You also have the enterprise manager if you have a lot of different backup servers. And then you have just the console only if you'd like to install the console on a server. So I'll go ahead and choose this option. I'll click accept to continue. And now I need to browse to my license. So I've got that in my downloads section. And there it is. I'll click next to continue. And if you haven't downloaded the trial license, then you're going to get the community edition instead. It's now doing a system check just to make sure that I have everything that I need. And also it's going to look for any missing features. So any server roles, features, that kind of thing, as well as any applications that might need to be installed from Microsoft. And then it will go ahead, let me know what those are. I can install them if I'd like to, and then continue. And I've been cleared to go ahead and install, so I'll click install. You can see it's installing an open source version of SQL Server in order to create a database for when all the data is backed up. You need a way for it to find any of that data that has been backed up so it can do a restoration. And you'll find that all third-party backup applications are going to have some form of SQL Server. Installation is complete. I'll click finish, and now I can go ahead and launch the Veeam backup and replication application by clicking on the start button. And there's multiple different options here. I want to choose the Veeam folder below and expand it. And choose Veeam backup and replication. Here it gives me the option for which server I'd like to connect, and I want to connect to the local host, of course, and I'll click connect. And here's the Veeam backup console. Everything is controlled in the lower left-hand corner, so we can go to inventory, backup, infrastructure, and history. And then once we select one of these options, then all the subcategories show up above it. For instance, we'll need to add servers, create jobs, or we can even do restores after we've added those jobs. Going into backup infrastructure, The important area here would be the backup repositories. This is where we're going to set up the various different storage we need, whether that's in the cloud or locally or at a NAS. And then we can use those backup repositories to back up our computers and servers using backup jobs that we create. And then the history section. This is important because it gives us some reporting on what's happened in the past. And this is the area that you would check on a daily basis, assuming you do daily backups, to see how backups did the previous night. Now that Veeam has been installed, you can add in storage, computers and servers to back up, create backup jobs, and start using Veeam.